What's good, and welcome to another Bite That Lure video. Today we're in Fishing Planet, and this is 10 tips for beginners. Oh, even for advanced players, they might be missing out on some of this pure advice here. So to start off, tip number one is go to your shop and check out your barbless hooks. Now I recommend you get these right off the bat. Level 5, you can see here the star indicates what level you unlock it at. You want to get these at level 5. Now I'd say go for like 8 or 6 to start out with. Kind of depends what you're going for or how you're doing it. Probably stick around 8ish, but it could change it up. But they are relatively cheap. They are 1 bait coin. Now it might be worried about spending your bait coin, but what's important about this is there is a challenge, Barbless Master, that you get after, I've caught 58, I think it was 25 or something like that, maybe even less to get the first one, and you get 1 bait coin back. So immediately it's worth it to just start doing that, so you can get more XP, because that's what you're off these barbless hooks, you get more XP on those fish, compared to your, normal hooks. And that way you can just combo off and really go hard for that XP, because that's what you need, to level up to get new stuff, so you can get new fish. Moving on, you want to go into, say like Lone Star Lake here, because in each area there is a challenge to basically fish crap out of the lake. And when I say crap, I don't mean like crappy fish, I mean like junk and or plants, stuff like that. So what we can show off right here, oh wait, I clicked on, you want to click on your profile to see this. Right here, Lone Star Cleaner. Oh, sorry, we're flying all over the place. Catch 100 of underwater items. And then for that one, I get 3 coin, but it was, I believe, 25 and then 50, and I got 1 and 2 coins. And then those are in almost every area, I believe, yeah. Where you can get those 1, 2, 3 coins just by catching, it shows shoes, I haven't got that far, but you can literally just catch them by right into the muck, the weeds, and just keep reeling in. Obviously you want a rod that is resilient enough to do it. That's kind of my crappy rod. But you can throw basically your rod, keep doing it into the weeds. It'll happen eventually just by normal occurrence when you're not seeing weeds or maybe get stuck in them. But you can keep ripping. Hopefully we maybe got something here. No, we almost had a fish apparently. I literally can't catch weeds right now. The struggle. So we can just tear through here a bit. Do we maybe catch something? No. But trust me, you can't catch weeds just by doing this. And like I said, by pulling through, landing in the weeds. You could set up a rod stand here, which we'll talk about, to basically catch. I think we're catching a fish, not even weeds. Yeah, we caught a fish. That's not what we were trying to do, but you did see we got that bonus, I guess, going back to the first tip. There, we got that bonus off of XP. But like I said, that is inherently the second tip. We might even pull one right here. Oh, there we go. Hornwort. Weeds. And you don't want to keep it. It's worth nothing. You discard it, and you just slowly work towards that challenge. I believe the first one is literally just getting 1 piece of garbage, so it's worth it to do to get that bait coin. Moving on, another great tip here that we can kind of transfer to is see we're out here on the lake, and if we go to check the shop, there is very little in here in terms of stuff. There's no barbless hooks. Why is that? Because since we are out on a venture, out on a lake, gone traveling, we don't have full access to the store, and the stuff we do have access to, like baits and such, have a slight increase in price. So we can see here dough balls are 165. If we leave, obviously not something you want to just be doing out on other lakes, but Lone Star Lake is a great way to you know, test things out and do back and forths like this. But if you see here, we go to shop and we'll check that bait again. It was dough balls. See, you know, it was 165, I believe, and now we're at 110. So you save money. You have a lot more access to different equipment. So you definitely want to plan for trips. Lone Star Lake doesn't matter, but other places you want to plan ahead and know what you're kind of bringing is a great way to get into that. Moving to some of the equipment, at least the most important stuff in my opinion, because you can kind of use this to get more XP and level up quicker, is in your tools and equipment. First, we'll start with rod cases. Here you want to immediately, you know, get that rod case, that hobby gear rod case. So you can hold 2 rods. Why do you need 2 rods? One, it's just great to have, maybe if you have 2 different setups for 2 different fish or whatever, or multiple, and you can start to move up to, of course, the triple case, you know, 4, 5, and up to 7 rods eventually, I believe, is the max. When you get way up there, or if you're willing to spend some hefty bait coin, which would be, you know, kind of difficult to get slightly. But that's important. And then you want a rod stand. Level 6, you get this at, because this almost automates fishing to a certain degree for you. You can almost sit back, and you want to keep getting higher and higher rod stands. You obviously need more rods to use these rod stands. So this one can hold 1. And if we head to Lone Star Lake, we'll go in and show you real quick. But it can be great for just doubling up, especially if you get like a triple or a double, you know, higher amounts. For going for a specific fish, because you could just line 4 rods up in one place. But it is 9 if you're, you know, using keyboard and mouse. This guy's got one here. He knows what's good. 9 to pull it out. Then you click her down. You pull out whatever rod you want to put in it, and you're going to want to cast it out. This might not be a great spot. I might be in the weeds a bit, and then place it in there. And it will auto close for you. Like I said, it might be in some weeds there, so it might be worth it to switch out. Are we in some weeds? Yeah. It's always kind of weedy here. It's hard to get a good little baby cast with the wiener rod I got. But that one should pull in something. I didn't really check the time. Oh. Maybe. There was some movement there, but we'll check the time here. We'll move her up. Obviously free on Lone Star, which is great too. You can have a rod casted out and change the time. It probably went right in the weeds. But this way you can kind of, I don't really have stuff set up perfectly here, and I'd recommend maybe changing up spots for where you're going to put it down, or rods. I kind of have my short casting kind of wiener rod on right now. But you can set it up and start to automate. I'm just trying to, hopefully it'll maybe pop off and close on my bobber out there. Trying to just get a demonstrational shot. Oh, see, it has pulled him down. So now you want to go and grab it. You can replace it with your other rod that you have out, and then just reel it in. So obviously if you get a double, triple stand, it starts to get real nuts because it just closes it for you. Keep that. This one always gets stuck in weeds. I kind of recommend like over there-ish. You can maybe, you know, you can work it kind of past here, but, you know, for my short rod, starter rod, that's where it kind of goes. But other than that, fish don't really stay on. Like, see how he's on there? It can be kind of random how long it'll stay on. You might sometimes just miss it, even though you saw it go down and up. Like, it'll get a fish on there, you'll go to grab it, it'll say, you know, it timed out, or whatever the issue was, like it says. Other than that, those are basically the most important equipment you want to grind it out for, so you can really go hard on XP. Those combined with like barbless and kind of working a specific fish can go real hard. For bait coin, this is kind of the next section here, next tip, 5th one. What you're going to want to use bait coin on is, of course, your barbless. And if I didn't, I don't believe show it off. Ignore that. But for your barbless... Oh, that's barbless jig heads, my bad. Same sauce, though, with them as well. But you get, at level 14, you get some slightly bigger ones, and then at level 2, you get the Gigantos. Same with barbless jig heads, I believe, or similar, 14, 22, and then you get some wilder ones up here. Some other things you want to spend Baitcoin on is if you go into your inventory, click home. As you can see down here, you only have so much space in your home inventory, and you can expand it, saving up for, you know, possibly these bigger kind of deal slots, so you can just clear it out, have a huge amount of space for whatever stuff you may need, your different builds, your tackle, your lines, all your stuff. The last thing that at least I recommend you could possibly spend it on is you check your licenses here for areas, and I recommend always going advanced, even when you're just kind of going out to fish like normally, not picking up an unlimited license like this. But as you can see, Lone Star, it's 7 for the unlimited, so your unrestricted night catches are all fine. Some people go for that one just because it's so cheap. That's one I might pick up. I'm still kind of deciding. Possibly the Lenzi Villa Fishery. It does also have a pretty cheap unlimited license here for 15, and there is a good selection of fish there and kind of some different tech that you can come into. So those are some of the ideas, and of course you could save up for the bigger ones. Like if you kind of click around, you can see they start to get up 50, maybe up here. Let's see what it won't show us, but yeah, they do start to go up pretty exponentially for some of the crazier licenses. Let's see, maybe here, 80, stuff like that. So it could be worth kind of planning out and seeing what maybe you like to do, how you like to fish. Maybe one area is just a real nice kayaking area and you like to kind of boat it out, stuff like that. Moving on, you want to check challenges. And we kind of briefly have touched on this and some of the other stuff, but there's so many easy ones, like just having a float tackle and just fishing. The barbless, performing successful strikes in a row. So you could even use this with your rod stands to increase that easily. Exploring waterways for a certain amount of days straight, and catching at least one fish a day, so you're not just standing there. Different things like this, landing net, bottom tackle, the different techniques. And of course, stuff is the same for each area, catching the different fish and all that. And then your missions you want to go to, because of course this is all going to give you Baitcoin, cash, and same with the challenges, items as well. Rare stuff you might not have access to yet. Even the Lone Star Exploration gives you a nighttime bobber for finishing that mission. At least number 1. So that's a great way to save up your Baitcoin and start really going hard with it. Another one is, of course, just to spin that wheel daily and, hit it, especially if you get that premium spin, hit that a couple times as well, if you can. Traveling back, I guess, for... Oh, we almost went to the wrong place. You don't want to do that. We'll just talk about the quick buttons that you can use, kind of hotkeys for stuff. For your different rods, it'll be 1 through 7. I only have 2 rods, so it's just 1 and 2. 9 for your rod stand. 0 for just nothing, empty hands. And then, of course, you have Q, so you can kind of select through these as well with the scroll wheel, to whatever specific one you want. And then when you have a or empty hands, you can hit Z to zoom. Sorry, I forgot about that. When you have a rod out and you hit Z, you can quick change with the scroll wheel to whatever bait you want. As well as you can time change, of course, with T, to those peak times. And M for map, which we'll kind of go into a little bit more. Next, for tip number 8, is these beautiful people, the community, even if they're low level, and especially in the main hub kind of world, are definitely a great asset. I've learned a lot just from asking, how are you catching that fish? Or watching and seeing someone catch a, gold, a blacktail or whatever, something over in this spot. Or you learn that catfish are kind of over there. You can learn from people just by watching, of course, online, the communities, like my video right now, or other videos, Reddit, stuff like that, or just the community in general, are a lot of people, are happy to help. Especially, I think there's a lot of people who are just fishermen who love this game, like fishermen in real life, and they just like to share knowledge here. Moving on, using the map, kind of coming full circle, you can set markers. Now, I don't have any set right now at the moment, but of course you can close and, choose where you want to set them. Call it whatever. We'll get rid of that one. But you can call it. How do I delete here? I have no clue how to delete. I'm not gonna lie. Figure that out later. But I've done it before. But you want to set markers for where you find a specific fish, and then you can, name it, do all that stuff. And then some people will set markers for where they are standing as well. So that can be very helpful. Yeah, I don't know I don't remember how I did that. Last thing is your fish species. Now, this could be overlooked very, very easily. You want to look through here because it'll tell you preferred baits. As well as looking at the baits themselves will tell you preferred fish. Because sometimes you might not get a fish on the stuff it lists. But the thing that bait will maybe list that fish. So, you got to look back and forth. Preferred baits may not always be on point. As well as the info, they can add up to depths, time, different stuff, different information, for that fish, as well as, maybe how you have to have your rod set up for weight, stuff like that. So that is, 10 basic tips for Fishing Planet that not everyone may know, If there's any stuff you think I missed, I'm down to make a part 2. I already have a couple tips that I'm kind of working on for a part 2. So go ahead and leave them in the comments. If there's any questions, maybe you're having trouble catching a fish, I might be able to help out, or someone else who's watching this video may have that info. Feel free to share in the comments. Make sure to check out our other fishing stuff. We play all kinds of fishing video games, games with fishing, alike, and we do how-to stuff like this. So make sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe, and otherwise, thanks for watching. Peace.